In this video, I want to offer you 5 tips for good project governance. Project governance is important, and there are 3 primary roles for project governance. And the first is to set direction, the strategy of the project. And the word governance comes from steering, and therefore it's to steer the project in the right direction. The second is good quality decision making during the project. That is, maintaining the right direction at any one time. And the third element of governance is oversight, making sure that the project is doing the right things in the right way. So we can think of governance as being about making sure that the project does the right things and it does them right. So, what are my 5 top tips for good project governance? Tip 1 is to engage actively with your project sponsor, with your governing board or steering group, with any organisation or part of your organisation that can contribute positively to the good governance of your project, like for example your project or program management office. Make it your business as a project manager to get to know the players, to talk to them often and to listen hard. If you can, seek to influence the governance process to make it ever more rigorous and robust. Second, not all sponsors are prepared to engage equally fully with a project, and therefore an important role of a project manager is to actively work to increase the engagement level of your project sponsor, to bring them on board. So this tip gives you 8 little mini tips, 8 suggestions for how you can engage your project sponsor more actively. All of these approaches to engaging a sponsor are appealing to a different aspect of their concern. And the first is their concern for reason. Appeal to reason. Give them good reasons why they should get engaged. And the best way to give them those reasons is to understand what motivates them, because they're human. So what's in it for them to engage? Give them those reasons. But it's worth noting that reason alone rarely influences anybody to do anything. You need more. So the second thing is to appeal to their sense of duty. If your sponsor has a sense of duty, then link your project to their duty. And that way, their sense of duty will draw them to an active engagement with your project. 3 is a sense of purpose. What is the sponsor's main reason for doing their job, for being at work? Now, assuming it's not just because they want to get paid, because they hate their job, but they have some real meaning in their work, some sense of purpose, then again, link your project to that. Ask the question why of your project. What is that project going to deliver? And link it to the why that your sponsor is trying to achieve in their work. Some sponsors, some people have a high need to feel they're achieving something. So, link your project to their need for achievement. Show how an active engagement with your project will enable them to feel that they have achieved something worthwhile, valuable, and in some way challenging. And closely related to this is a sense of pride. Show them how being a sponsor for your project is a significant achievement, it has a significant status to it, it gives them some influence, and show them how they can be proud of the work they're doing. And sometimes, moving on to the next one, you might find that you can take this further because your sponsor is someone who values a sense of having power. So show them how actively engaging with your project gives them some real power, the ability to influence events, to make decisions, and to get things to turn out the way that they want. If all else fails, you can start to appeal to some of their lesser instincts. So at number 7 is fear. What is it that they fear? And how can you make it clear that not supporting, not engaging with your project will trigger some of the events, some of the outcomes that they are fearful of. And if all else fails, vanity. Show them how the project enhances their appearance to their peers. Use appropriate compliments and build up their kind of sense of self-worth and vanity through the project. My third tip is to use whatever time you have available to support good governance. Get involved in things like training board members, steering group members, to make sure that they are enabled and empowered to do their job well. Ensure that you allocate time in your schedule and money in your budget for the governance activities that are necessary on your project. Often we kind of miss these things out of our timelines and our budgets, and therefore the governance activities are kind of squeezed in using people's borrowed time, which never leaves people feeling enthusiastic about doing it. Set up good processes and procedures and support those with the resources they need. And while we're talking about resources, information, provide good information to the governance processes so that the people who are charged with the governance of your project can oversee what you're doing well, and they can make good decisions. And finally, provide the resources for good record keeping to create an excellent audit trail that can track not only the decisions that are made, but the work that is done by the governance tier as well as by the project itself. My fourth tip is to instigate a stage gate or phase gate or boundary gate process so that the project life cycle is split up right from the early planning, and there are go no-go decisions at various stages where some governance group is able to look at what you've achieved to make sure it is complete and done properly, and then to make a decision as to whether moving forward is the right thing to do. The stage gate process, for me, is one of the key elements of good governance, so make sure that you build a good stage gate process into your project. And finally, get your minimum documentation right. Every project manager will probably have their own list of which documentation they consider to be non-negotiable, and therefore which documentation they can probably manage without. And without a doubt, the right answer will be to a degree situational. It will be based on, where you're working, the type of project, the type of organisation you have. But for me, the 5 must-have pieces of project documentation are: number 1, project definition. And number 2, a business case or project proposal or some form of investment appraisal, some document that shows why we're doing the project. So the definition is what we're doing. The project proposal or business case is why we're doing it. Number 3 is the plan, how we're going to do the project. There are millions of different types of document that you can produce, but something that articulates your plan is, for me, non-negotiable. And the 4th question is, what if? What could go wrong? A risk register. If you're spending someone else's money, if you're hazarding someone else's reputation, you must be able to demonstrate that you are properly guarding those and actively managing the risks that arise from your project. Your risk register is both part of your audit trail, and it's also an important management tool. And my 5 non-negotiable document is some form of project completion or project handover document that enables you to say, we have finished the project, and for your client or your sponsor or your boss to sign off that they are happy with the work that you've done. These 5 tips are inspired by one of our Kindle-exclusive ebooks, the ebook on project governance, which is one of the best-selling, I would say. This book has 5 thorough sections that will help you to understand and manage good project governance. Those chapters are: number 1, what has good project governance ever done for us? Number 2, why the stage gate process will make you a better project manager. Number 3, are you getting your project documentation all wrong? Number 4, 8 approaches to engage your project sponsor. And number 5, how to handle a difficult project sponsor. 6 types. So please do take a look at our Kindle exclusive project governance ebook. And also, if you've enjoyed this video, please do give us a like and subscribe to the channel. And to hear about new videos as we create them, hit the notification bell. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one.